Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day or evening. Today is a bittersweet kind of video. So if you're kind of in the knife hobby or collecting community, you know that nothing is ever permanent. And just like in life, the only guarantee is that things always change. And that is kind of the name of the game when it comes to the hobby. We're always looking to improve our collection, try different things. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You just sort of go from one thing to the next, and sometimes one thing catches your eye and the collection changes. And that is what's happening today. So I am featuring a few knives that have appeared probably in the channel so far in various ways, but maybe I haven't made specific videos about each and every one of them. But we're going to give each one a little bit of a feature today, just quickly, as we kind of bid farewell. These are going to be three knives that are going to be moved down the road, find a new home. Uh, Remembered, not forgotten. Really great pieces in every way, in each of their own ways. And let's just talk a little bit about them and give them a little bit of highlight as we say farewell, right? So the three knives I've got today, first starting with the one I'm holding, is the Great Eastern Cutlery 94 pattern garnet jigged bone. So this one is from 2021. It's got the clip point blade, single blade design. 94 is kind of one of my, not my favorite pattern, but it is kind of one of my pet favorites, mostly because of the compact size. Sort of fits in there between I would say like a 15 pattern and a 14 pattern. I don't have a 15 and 14 handy dandy with me right now, but you know, it's right in between there, so it really is a great usable uh size, a real true pocket knife, right? I also like these clip point blades. For whatever reason, like I've said this before, I just feel like the 94 in this configuration has such a good blade to handle ratio. Yeah, it's a little small, and I've got really, I think, on the smaller side of hands, and I can barely get my fingers on them. So if you're a bigger guy, it's probably mostly a three finger blade or a three fingered handle. But with that said, it's a pretty significant sized blade, surprisingly. So they pack a lot of blade into this handle, and so you're not feeling compromised here. You can definitely use this for most EDC tasks. Just a good handsome blade too. Especially in this configuration with a long pull. It's just a classy knife. This one in particular is really nice. I just think it's very, very handsome. Fluted bolsters, triple fluted, really. Look at that. And just a really nice blade. It's gonna be one that I miss. But it's, you know, it's kind of got been replaced because I have another 94, a um stag bone handle that, you know, makes it so that really having two of these doesn't make as much sense to me. And you know, sometimes you just have to shake things up a little bit. So that one's going to be moving down the road. Where can I put it? Right here. Let's put that right there. Another one that is unfortunately moving down the road would be this 83. A real charmer. Uh Probably just one of the most handsome knives I've probably ever had. This pattern, I mean the actual wood grain is just striking to me. I just think this is really one of the best. It's actually Mexican Bacote wood, and look at that. So freaking charming, you know? I'm gonna really kind of feel like I'm already starting to regret it, but I'm gonna move this one down the road. And there's really no real rhyme or reason. I just don't carry it. I don't know why. You know, it's one of those situations where I don't know if it's because of the size or if it's just wood. I don't know what it is. It's just some combination of of things that just make me not grab it. You know, it's one of those things. It's just like, you know, being in love or not. You just sometimes can't explain it. You have to just feel it. And when you have a bunch of knives, I just don't pick this one up enough, and I don't think that's fair because this is a really handsome piece that belongs in the collection, and it should be used too. It's a really usable knife. I love that it's a lockback, so it's a little bit different than other slip joints that I have. Um, and this particular example is actually pretty solidly built for GEC, having all the notoriety of being really quality, consistent. Their lockbacks are very problematic. This is the second one I've had, or maybe third one I've had, but this one's the best one I've seen. The other ones have had some type of wiggle, some type of rock. This one's almost 100% stable. It's tiny bit of movement, but almost imperceivable, which is about as good as you can get. Centering on this one's excellent also. So I just think this is an excellent example of an 83. Probably the best Bakodi like grain structure I've ever seen, just because of the way that they've been able to match these two, and just the way that the texture is just almost like it doesn't look real. It's so cool with the striping. Super handsome. But at the same time, I'm probably moving it down the road, and it's gonna find a good home. And then the last today that I wanted to feature is this 78 pattern. It is made of smooth Appaloosa bone. Really, really handsome knife. Look at that. Check that out. I do really like this knife. I mean, it's just something about the bone. So smooth, so comfortable in the hand. I'm big on that, you know. I'm big on just the way it feels. Like I sometimes like to just put my hand in my pocket and grab this knife and just, you know, you feel it in your pocket. It's almost like a Worry Stone, you know, if you guys have ever heard of those. It just feels so nice in the pocket. But this one in particular, I believe, and I got this from another collector actually, so this, I'm not the first owner. I believe this one was actually modified, so it's actually got a blade delete. So it's this one's from 2024. I believe it might have had another blade in there, probably a pen blade like some of the other 78s. But I really like a single blade, and this one's a very slim carry. So although it's, you know, it's a 78 pattern, it's a pretty good size knife. It's so slim, so comfortable. What a great knife, really. Handsome blade, really usable. This one's a user, as all my knives tend to be typically. Really typically have a lot of safe queens. I like to just use everything. I just feel like that's only fair, especially when you're talking about things like this, you know. These aren't jewels or gems or gold bullion. It's these are tools and they should be used, in my opinion. No offense to anybody else. Like I know there's a lot of collectors that collect for their own reasons. And they literally just collect them and catalog them and keep them in safes. And hey, I'm not here to start a war over that. That's I get it. I've been collecting all kinds of things for my whole life, so I know that that's a thing. I'm just here to say that that's not why I collect knives. So this one is heading out for, I guess, a similar reason. I do have another 78 that I carry more often, and again, I don't know why. I just do. I do like the action on that one a little bit more because this one does have a pretty heavy pull compared to the other one, and I am a kind of guy who likes like a lighter pull. The other 78 is actually wood handles with a long pull. I just like it more. I don't know why. So ends up, whoops, sorry, ends up being that when I pick up a 78, it's gonna be not this one. Although objectively, the bone and everything else on this is just gorgeous. I also prefer like the other one has double fluting, I think, and it just I like that. I like bolsters, especially when it's like a larger bolster like this, to have some fluting. But then again, when it comes to just simplicity and smoothness of the design, especially if you wanted to kind of polish this up, which I haven't, I haven't, but if you did, this would be one heck of a handsome kind of dress piece, and it could still be that, it's not hard to at all sharpen this up by just, putting a nice edge on here, maybe a polished edge, clean this blade up a little bit so that it doesn't have quite as much patina, although it doesn't have that much today as it is. And then also just polishing the shield, and just, giving this a once over, and you'd have yourself one heck of a nice, I mean, I call it a dress piece, but like, I don't, it's not like you're going to a ball with this knife, or maybe you would, but it would be a very handsome piece if you wanted it to be. So this could go either way, I think. I just, I think I would like to see this go down the road to somebody who may use it more, because I have a 78 that I use, and again, I don't always collect everything of a single, a type of pattern. I do it a little bit, but it's mostly because I just like certain things. I don't always set out in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to look for every 78 and collect one after the next and just line them up. I do have multiples of certain patterns. For instance, right now I'm on a Sodbuster Junior kick, so I've got like a bunch of them, but it's not really because, I set out to collect them all. It's not like a situation like where you collect, baseball cards and you got to get the whole set, and I get that too. Like I've collected things like that before, or I used to collect coins and I used to collect baseball cards and comics, and you have to get the whole set. There's like a compulsiveness to it, but I don't look at knives quite the same way. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think I kind of respect the guys that manage to get every single one of something. But I am one that thinks more like, if I got a 78, I tend to like not try to duplicate it too much, because I've got everything I want with the one. And then I'll look for another one. I'll look for a 94. And again, similar situation. If I've got another 94 that I like better, I'll take the one that I like more and maybe move this one down the line so I can find something else that I don't have experience with. So at least for me, that's how I look at it. I may get to a point where I say, hey, listen, I just want to collect all 94s. And that'll be a day that I'll have to kind of change up the collection again. But enough rambling. I think just wanted to hop on here today, and it's it's a bittersweet kind of video because you're moving on. But anybody who's in the hobby knows that this is just the way it is. You're always looking to change. You're always looking to experience new different types of knives, or different types of experiences, whether maybe it's a knife that you've had, but maybe it's a different cover or material or steel. That's part of the fun. It's part of the journey and the education of your own hobby. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'll probably update you on some developments of maybe what comes in to replace these, but that's going to be it for another video as that happens. For today, we just wanted to highlight these. I just felt like I never got a chance to make videos on each and every single one of these, but I'm hoping that it's not the last I see from these, and they're going to go to a good home. What do you guys think? How do you collect? Do you all kind of experience different things and move knives on, or do you collect knives and keep them forever? Do you do one in, one out? in terms of buying one knife and then selling it before you buy another one. How do you approach knives, and how do you feel about moving on a knife that you have one that's similar of? Because I sometimes find myself feeling a little bit too maybe guilty is not the right word, but I do feel like if I have too many of one knife, they don't get the love that they need. So I do feel like sometimes I got to move that on and make room for something that's a little bit more diverse. So anyway, with that said, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about collecting. How do you usually like to do it? Do you get knives of the same type and collect them that way, or do you like to try and find a different knife that you don't have in your collection yet and fill in gaps? Uh, and as always, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please comment. I love talking to everybody. I've been trying to keep up with every single comment. So far, so good. Love hearing from you guys. So drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you on the next one.